Hello, friends. There is a lot of noise online right now claiming that some dramatic new rule lands on pensioners this month, and I want to be straight with you from the very first sentence, because that is not quite how it works. Nothing switches overnight on a single date in July. But that does not mean this month is quiet. Far from it. Several changes that came into force earlier this year are now reaching people's bank accounts and doormats, and there are deadlines sitting just over the horizon that, if you miss them, cost you real money you cannot get back. The problem is the same as always. The Department for Work and Pensions and HMRC do not ring you to explain any of this. They change the rules, they set the clocks running, and they expect you to already know. I have gone through the official figures and everything confirmed for the 2026 to 2027 year, and I am going to walk you through what is genuinely happening for pensioners right now, what is real, what is myth, and what you need to act on before the deadlines pass. Stay until the end, because the fourth thing on this list carries a September deadline that catches higher earners out every single year, and the fifth is money that vanishes permanently if you do not ask. Before we get into it, if you are not subscribed, please do that now and turn on the bell. The rules change constantly, and when they change, nobody explains it. The people subscribed here find out in time. The ones who are not tend to find out afterwards, after the deadline, after the money is already gone. Hit subscribe and let us get into it. The first thing, and the one causing the most confusion right now, is the state pension age. For years, people assumed the finish line was 66. That is no longer true for everyone. Since the 6th of April 2026, the state pension age has been rising from 66 to 67, phased in gradually and completing by early 2028. If you were born between the 6th of April 1960 and the 5th of March 1961, your state pension age is not 66 and it is not 67, it is somewhere in between, 66 and a specific number of months depending on your exact date of birth. And if you were born on or after the 6th of March 1961, your state pension age is now a full 67. This matters enormously because people are leaving work, reducing hours, and planning their finances around a date that has quietly moved. The gap between expecting your pension and it actually arriving could be months longer than you think. Do not guess this. Go to the Check Your State Pension Age tool on gov.uk, enter your date of birth, and get the exact official date. It takes 30 seconds. The second thing follows directly from the first. When you do reach your state pension age, the pension does not start automatically. You will receive a letter from the DWP about 4 months before, inviting you to claim. If that letter arrives and you do nothing, your payments do not begin. They simply wait until you respond. Now, deferring can be a deliberate choice because it increases your eventual amount by around 5.8% for each full year you delay. But it should be a decision you make on purpose, not something that happens to you by accident. And here is the part most people never hear. If you claim late, you can only backdate your claim by up to 12 months. On the full new state pension of £241.30 a week, 12 months of backdating comes to over £12,500 in a single lump sum, but every week beyond that window is money lost for good. When that invitation letter comes, act on it, and if you want to backdate, say so clearly when you claim. The third thing is what has actually changed in your payments this year, because there is a great deal of misinformation about the figures. Under the triple lock, the state pension rose by 4.8% from April 2026. The full new state pension is now £241.30 a week, which is £12,547.60 a year. And here is the quiet problem buried inside that number. The personal allowance, the amount you can receive before income tax is due, is frozen at £12,570, and it stays frozen until at least April 2028. That leaves a gap of just over £22 between the full new state pension and the tax threshold. Any other income at all, a small private pension, a little savings interest, a few hours of work, tips you into paying income tax, often for the first time in retirement. Because the state pension is paid without tax taken off, the HMRC catches up later by sending a simple assessment letter telling you what you owe. These letters go out through the summer, so this is exactly the season they arrive. If one lands, do not ignore it. Check the figures against your own records, and if you think it is wrong, you have 60 days from the date on the letter to challenge it. The fourth thing is the winter fuel payment, and this one has a real deadline coming that most people do not know about. For winter 2026, the payment is back for a broad group. If you were born before the 27th of June 1960 and live in England or Wales, you will receive £200, or £300 if you are aged 80 or over, paid automatically in November or December. You do not need to apply. But here is the catch that catches higher earners every year. If your individual taxable income is above £35,000, HMRC will claw the whole payment back through your tax code or self-assessment. If you would rather not take a payment you will only have to repay, there is an opt-out, and the deadline is in September. The online opt-out closes at 11:59 p.m. on the 20th of September 2026, and the phone opt-out a couple of days earlier, on the 18th. So although it is only July, if you are above that income line, this is the month to note that deadline, because once it passes, the payment goes out and the repayment follows. And if you are eligible and have not received your money or a letter by late January, contact the Winter Fuel Payment Centre. The fifth thing is the one I told you to wait for, and it is the most valuable of all, because it is the gateway that unlocks everything else. It is called pension credit. Pension credit tops up the weekly income of lower income pensioners to a minimum of £238 a week for a single person or £363.25 for a couple in 2026 to 2027. But the top-up is only half the story. Claiming pension credit, even by a few pence, automatically unlocks a cascade of other help. It can passport you to a free TV license if you are 75 or over, worth £180 a year. It brings council tax reduction of up to 100%. It brings the warm home discount of £150 off your energy bill, cold weather payments of £25 for each spell of severe cold, and it protects your winter fuel payment regardless of income. Add it all together and it is worth thousands of pounds a year on top of the pension credit itself. And here is the scandal. Around 800,000 pensioner households who are entitled to pension credit are not claiming it. Many because they assume their income is too high, when in fact they would qualify. It is not automatic. Nobody checks for you. If your weekly income is anywhere near those figures, ring the pension credit claim line on 0800 99 1234 and have them check. So here is where things actually stand this month. The state pension age is rising from 66 to 67, so check your exact date on gov.uk rather than assuming. Your pension does not start automatically, the invitation letter needs a reply, and late claims backdate only 12 months. The pension rose to £241.30 a week, but the frozen tax threshold means simple assessment letters are landing this summer with 60 days to challenge. The winter fuel payment returns at £200 or £300, but higher earners above £35,000 have until the 20th of September to opt out of a payment they will only have to repay. And pension credit remains the single most valuable entitlement of all, unlocking thousands in linked support, missed by around 800,000 households who simply never applied. None of this comes looking for you. The only thing standing between you and the right outcome is knowing it exists and acting before the clock runs out. Subscribe and share this with someone you know who is drawing, or about to draw, their state pension. One conversation could make a real difference. I will see you in the next one.